What is good, you guys? Welcome to Speak Freely. This is the podcast where we ramble on and we talk about a bunch of different random shit. The reason why I'm doing Speak Freely today is because your boy is he's bored. And I'm trying to get my boys Archer and Kai involved into a podcast so we can make some goddamn moolah for ourselves as well as enjoy our time. So go ahead and plug y'all shit, plug y'all shit, plug y'all shit.
Yeah,
I got him the plug.
KEN3TIMES on YouTube, Ken the Hippie on Twitch, Young Ken on YOUNGKEN on Kick. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Archer underscore on Discord. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it be.
Yep. So basically, what's the conversation that y'all want to talk about today, my boy?
Yeah, bro, I'm saying we can go spiritual route, I'm gonna be honest.
You said what?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro, but we should have a deep convo.
Alright, bet that. Go ahead. You start it off.
Oh, you want me to start it off, bro? I don't
Yeah,
know what
go-
to start it off with.
Go ahead. Cause you just want to talk about we gonna have a deep combo. What you start off?
I got up to the top of my head, though, I'm gonna be honest.
Alright, let's talk about mental health. Let's start about mental health. What situations have y'all went through where your mental health has been tested?
When I was getting hallucinations of some really nasty stuff, and
I was gonna say go into detail, my guy.
I don't have to go into detail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to my parents to kind of confining them to my problems and stuff, and they didn't really give me like the right answer and stuff, and they didn't give me the right advice that I was looking for, and they just didn't give me any sympathy at all for like the things that I was going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like basically like that tested not only my mental health, but that tested me as a person. Eventually, as I grew up and I matured over time, and when I was having like an ego disillusion, basically like I realized that I have to forgive my parents for not understanding my struggle and not giving me like the advice that works for me. It's not that their advice was bad, it's just that their advice didn't work for me, you know. So like I learned to forgive them, and I learned to accept that like my parents aren't gods, you know. like they're bound to like have their advice not work for me. And so like there comes a time in your path in life and where your parents' advice, your friends' advice, your family's advice is not going to work out for you. You have to find your own advice. You have to take your own advice in life, and you have to take your own 2 cents, and you have to just roll with it, you know?
Yeah. I can't say that because there will be certain moments where just hell yeah, everything will be tested, including your own ability to guide yourself. Shit, I've noticed that mental health for me was a little bit of a challenge when I was growing up because, like it was a mental challenge because I had bipolar disorder, and like some people would pick on me. Like I didn't necessarily have bullies, but people would roast, and I didn't know how to roast back, so it would be very fucking annoying. You know, it's almost like going into a martial arts school, but you don't know a lick of what the fuck is going on. So people just beating your ass. But eventually, when I learned how to defend myself and roast back, it stopped being a problem. But because I didn't know, like this is what motherfuckers do, like especially when they're being friendly. Like, cause in certain environments, some people act hyper aggressive, and you won't be able to tell that that's just their way of being nice, you know. So I had to learn that and realize that just because my mental health was bad and I had trauma responses to certain shit doesn't mean it gave me an excuse to just run away from this whole group of people because I felt like, oh, I didn't belong. Like that would just be some, it wouldn't necessarily be bitch shit because some people have to change their environments in order to succeed, but I don't think that has to happen all the time. So that was more so my mental health journey, especially being someone who necessarily didn't know how to respond. Like once again, I had bipolar disorder and I had ADHD. So it's like the reason why I say I had it is because I don't let it hinder me anymore. But yeah, that shit I used to be able to, I used to blow up at the fucking drop of a dime for some shit because it was just annoying as hell, and I reached my breaking point, you know. So I can say that if I haven't worked on my mental health, my breaking point wouldn't be as far as it is to reach as it is today. So yeah, that would be something that I can say for mental health, as well as seek therapy. Like when I say seek therapy, you don't necessarily have to pay $100 every time you go to someone just to someone to listen to you talk. I mean, people like me who like giving therapy, that'll be a nice paycheck. But at the same time, it's like you could do this shit simply from just conversating with yourself, even conversating with others. Like, don't be afraid to talk. You know, hell, talking. Not, and this is a little bit off topic. Once again, I said this speak freely, so we're gonna ramble a little bit.
Yeah.
Talking gave me a lot of my opportunities and friends that I have today too, because I was able to realize that there's a social side of success, and I didn't just let that shit stop me.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And like, the words are so important because like in like Abrahamic traditions, God spoke the world into existence. He didn't like use his hands, or he didn't freaking like, he literally spoke the world into existence. And like the most like vile sins, and the most like powerful sins and stuff are sins that you say with your words, not sins that you do with your actions, like blaspheming the Lord, like associating partners with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things are like bigger sins than murder. You know what I'm saying? But they're
to some people. I can't necessarily say that for everybody. I had to also mention this in this type of podcast. We gotta give everybody equal space to speak their own opinion as well. So if somebody disagrees, I don't mind, and I'm pretty sure neither does Archer. It opens up deep conversation for us to have in order for us to all, you know, really reach that point of oneness with each other, even through our differences. Sorry, but go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off, my bro.
no, but that goes to show that like words are so important. And like my motherly figure that I had in life before she cut me off and stuff, she told me that words are spirit, their life, and their everything, you know. And I don't and I always wondered why she said that, right? And a lot of it had to do with the fact that when we had a relationship with each other, we basically said a bunch of words, but they had no substance to it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say a lot of words, right? But they could like literally not mean jack. You know what I'm saying? They could literally not mean jack if you're not emphasizing it, if you're not saying it properly, if you're not meaning it. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side, you can say very few words and they could mean a lot. Like, I was at a party, right? And I said very, 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 very few words, right? But I made sure that the words that I did say, I made them count. You know what I'm saying? So, like, basically, bro, like, the words you say it's quality over quantity. I feel like in life, with like instant gratification, consumerism, and freaking like addiction and stuff, we basically are accustomed to believe quantity over quality. But like with words, we kind of come back to the belief and come back to the fact that it's quality over quantity. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say.
I was finna say, how do y'all feel about? Hold on, wait a second. Okay. I was finna say, now let's speak on something that's a little bit more deeper. Followers, like, what do you think? How do you feel about the difference between leaders and followers in today's world? Like, do you think being a follower could lead to your detriment? And also, do you think that people trying too hard to be leaders when they're better fit to be followers can lead to your detriment? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I definitely gotta think about that one.
Yeah, I gotta think about that too.
I say, take your time. This ain't no rush. You gotta rush.
Bro, dropping bombshells on us over here.
That's crazy.
Um, I have to say that like life is all about balance, right? It's about the balance between two polarities. For example, like in the first chapter of the Quran, which we recite in every single prayer without fail, the sixth verse says, "Show us the straight path," right? Don't show us the right hand path, not show us the left hand path. Show us the middle path, right?
Yeah.
So life is all about balance between polarities. So I would say, bro, you need to be a balance between a leader and a follower. You need to learn when to listen, and you need to learn when to talk and stuff.
I can
Now, although there are
understand. It's a
people
time
who are,
and
like,
place type shit. Yeah, I can understand that.
but now there are people who are more like suitable in like the right side, which would be a leader. And, like there are people who are more suitable on the left side, like a follower. That's why God made prophets, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why some people are prophets and some people aren't. You know?
Yeah.
Because like some people are born to lead, and not even born to lead, but like through their experiences. There's a famous quote that says, "Legends aren't born; they're made." Right? Except for Yao Ming, that guy was like literally like accustomed to like be a basketball player, but you know like basically like there are people that are more suitable in those roles, right? And what that means is that, you know, like balance doesn't necessarily mean 50-50, you know? Balance could be 60-40, balance could be 30-70, balance could be 20-80, you know what I'm saying? It all depends, you know what I'm saying, on really
So
where
balance
you're at.
doesn't necessarily have to be equal. Is what you're saying? Just to make sure I understand.
No, yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be equal, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be appropriate based on where you lean towards, you know what I'm saying? For example, like I lean towards like more mysticism and stuff. I lean to more like a more mystical like feeling, right?
Yeah.
So like I basically like realized that like my mysticism and my orthodoxy, I have to balance it out. But that doesn't mean that I'm 50% mystical and 50% orthodox. I'm more like 60% mystical and like 40% orthodox. You know what I'm saying? So like basically like as long as you find what you lean towards and you find towards what's suitable for you, then yeah, that's pretty much it. And to add on what you said about like wolves in sheep's clothing, like followers that are actually leaders and stuff, or leaders that are actually followers and stuff. Yeah, bro, that's a really dangerous like path. You know what I'm saying? And basically, bro, like sorry, my mom's texting me. Basically, like in order to like fully like comprehend like if a person is like a wolf in sheep's clothing, you have to see how they respond to criticism. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've noticed that like, and you have to see how they respond to questions too. If you're constantly questioning your leader and stuff, and you're constantly like criticizing them, and you're constantly like not, well, obviously not harshly, but constructively and like maturely. Maturely is not a word. You know what I'm saying? With maturity. As long as you're basically like constructively criticizing them and like being mature and stuff, towards your questions and asking like genuine real questions, you'll come to realize that like it's just like the ego. Like my social worker told me like I have a bad habit that I'm not gonna get into, right? And I was like telling my social worker like, how do I kick this bad habit, right? And he basically said, you have to question yourself before you get into the habit. Before you do this habit and stuff, you have to question yourself before you do it, because the ego does not like to be questioned. It likes to shoot first, ask questions later, right? So, you know what that entails is that someone who's living in their ego and stuff and wants to be a leader when they're in reality they're a follower is basically somebody who who shoots first, asks questions later. So
I've met a few of those people. They are some of the fucking worst.
So would you say I'm accurate on what like a leader who's actually a follower entails?
I would say that is very close, but there would be one thing that I wouldn't necessarily fully agree on, that balance sometimes doesn't have to be equal. But I can agree with that to a certain degree because it is very subjective. Like depending on the situation, sometimes you have to listen less and act more. So I can get that. So my thing is just when it comes to certain leaders, I feel like, and it's a little bit off topic once again to speak freely, but it's on the topic. I feel like people, well, to look further than what the question was, I feel like people get so caught up in the glitz of certain people that they believe they're leaders, and it ends up leading them down a worse path than they would ever really end up in, like where they should be. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll end up following these leaders thinking, oh yes, I'm doing something good with my time, I'm following a cause that, and it's just like, bro, that person is leading you literally off a cliff. And you don't even realize it yet until somebody with some common sense look at it with you, and then you realize, damn, that's how I look. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people need to see themselves from another perspective, and like you said, the ego hates being questioned, so they don't question themselves. They don't ever have the "that's how I look" moment because they're too afraid to question themselves. They rather feel like they're doing something okay rather than actually being okay. I was gonna say another question would be, how do y'all feel about people who judge things based off of feelings rather than facts? I got a mixed feeling on that, like personally.
Yeah, I got a mixed feeling on that too. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like judging in general though.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think everybody's right in their own way, and I don't think I should judge people for things that they like or how they feel about certain things. But I don't think we should also just deny facts though.
For real. Because I feel like some people are too feeling based. Like I feel like some people are too feeling based. Go ahead, Archer. Sorry for cutting you off.
I think it's just crazy because we live in a time and place where we can't define fact anymore.
Yeah, without trying to be canceled in some way. No offense to the next few words I'm gonna say, but I just have to bring it up. Like you can't even bring up fact of genetics without someone trying to call you offensive or trying to say you're having a phobia of something. When in truth, I'm just trying to, correctly display what I've been taught by the system of schooling that I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I've been taught, and this is what's natural to me or what I know. So I can't necessarily stray away from what I've been taught because everybody else who wants this feeling or this air of, oh, I'm included. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna say it now. I'm a person that's not really for everybody, but I can adapt to everybody. But that doesn't mean I'm just gonna throw away the truth. I may not say nothing right then, but once the cameras are off or once we in private, as your friend, I'm gonna talk to you real talk and be like, hey yo, fuck are you doing? And that I feel like a lot of people lack that friend. So yeah, it's just once again I hate the fact that people are just so afraid to tell their friend the truth, and because of that fear, a lot of people are afraid to use their freedom of speech, and now people have become so opinion based rather than solution based. It is somewhat fucked up our idea of what actually protesting for something that's right is. Like we think protesting is fucking up a whole neighborhood that we gotta still live in. No, that's not protesting. You know what I'm saying? Just stop like literally, you want me to show you the most effective way to protest without breaking and destroying shit? Everybody collectively just stop doing what they tell you for a day. Just don't go to work. Just don't do shit. Like literally, just don't do nothing for the day, everybody, and watch how fast this be like, okay, yeah, something ain't off. We just had our worst day in revenue. We gotta ask what the hell wrong. And if they that cruel, then more than likely y'all will catch the memo and dip out. Once again, it like bro, you don't have to do shit. It's just the rules set in place makes you get an impulse to do it because they're coercing you by giving you different reasons as to why you have to do it. Versus you looking at it from base value and realizing, yo, I could really just go to sleep on the dirt tonight. I don't want to, but it's not like I, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I can't just say fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of homeless people that have that mentality too. They're like, why work a job when I can stand on this 200
For free,
making
like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, making like $200-300 a day. Why would I get a job?
And they probably do got a job. They just don't live nowhere.
Yeah, they live in their
They got like at
stuff
least
like that,
$30,000 saved up. They not buying no apartment, no house, no nothing. They happy with their little tent on the street.
As I was saying, see, because they don't have to at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people would rather take the easy life and the easy route in life than the harder route.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
did
a lot
stuff
of
the hard way. I ain't gonna cap. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I did a few
I think it's
things
more
the
worth
hard. I had it
pays
easy.
off later.
I was finna say I had it easier than
I
a
mean,
lot
I
of
think
people,
that
but I
kinda goes
did shit
back
the
to
hard
what-
way for the easiness that I had.
I think that kind of goes back to what Andrew Tate said about how, like, if you were at a restaurant, right, and you were to pick a menu of emotions, right, a lot of people pick happy, right?
I wouldn't pick
say
happy.
Yeah, what?
I wouldn't pick happy. I think that's
Exactly.
I don't
Because
think
happy
there's
has
a point to that.
potential.
I
Happy has
personally,
potential.
not to cut you off, but
Happy has
I
the
personally feel like boring peacefulness is way better than chaotic excitement. So it's like,
because happiness has
yeah.
the potential to be like really destructive, you know?
yeah,
Like,
chaotic,
Andrew
yeah,
Tate made a
chaotic,
good point that,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he made a good point that, like, if you were to pick an emotion of like courage or bravery instead of happiness, you would pick the courageous option in life. You would pick the brave option in life. The brave option is to do life bone sober. You know what I'm saying? That's rich coming from me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know my habits and stuff. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were to pick the brave option or the courageous option in life instead of just what makes you happy and stuff, that's more rooted in logic, in my opinion. Bravery, although it's an emotion, takes a lot of rationalization in order for you to go through it, because you're scared. Brave doesn't mean you're fearless. Brave means that you're scared, but you're still willing to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Your rationality is triumphing over your natural reason.
I was gonna ask the question too. How do y'all feel about people shaming people for working day-to-day jobs?
That's lame, bro.
Yeah, I
That's
think that's
so
kind
lame.
of
I work great job.
I feel like that's lame too, because it's like some of the people, even the spiritual leaders, quote unquote, that I watch, you know what I'm saying? Some of them work regular jobs and they teach us how to escape the matrix. I feel like more so they're teaching us how to play the game while it's still up, but break ourselves free mentally before we gotta go through this physical change. And I don't know what physical change is gonna happen. I don't know if it's the internet going on, none of this shit. All I know is I'm gonna go as hard as I can till this motherfucker drop.
Yeah. I don't think we should shame people for the way they make money, because at least they're trying.
Yeah, at least they trying, cause let's be real here. It's a lot of motherfucker and it's a lot of people, man and women, that's just like, I don't want to work, and it's not. And some of them don't want to work, not because they don't want to work. It's because they don't want to work in the way that they don't want to work. They want to work in their way. They want to be able to stay at home and do remote shit or work their YouTube or whatever. That's what they want to do. That doesn't mean they don't want to work. It just means they don't want to have to work to make that shit and work somebody else's way. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't got a problem with working. Because I guarantee you, if that job was replaced with a farm that's feeding you and doing all that extra shit, you damn near gonna be working harder on the farm than you would at that McDonald's. The only difference is that farm feeding you every day. Like, I mean, in your hand get paid versus the McDonald's pay you every few weeks. So regardless of how you getting paid or how you eat, just you know what I'm saying, do your thing. Oh, what's good, Deja? That's my cousin. But yeah, I was gonna say, Archer, what's another thing that you've learned throughout life, bro?
I learned this with Kai, actually, like last Saturday night. But I learned that basically, bro, like I did a little PTSD therapy with Kai, right?
Yeah.
And basically, bro, what I learned was that your past cannot be undone. I already learned that. They say that in all the movies. Every preacher tells that to you, whether they're Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu. You know what I'm saying? Like every preacher, every spiritualist, every spiritual leader will tell you you can't undo your past, but you can always do your present. And I was going back to what Hassan al-Basri said. If anyone doesn't know, Hassan al-Basri was basically like one of the original mystics in Islam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one of the original. Actually, no, the Prophet was an ascetic. He wasn't. He was like a well-known ascetic. If you don't know what asceticism is, it's basically when you abstain from worldly desires. Like you practice celibacy, you practice sobriety, you practice fasting and stuff. That's asceticism. The Prophet.
Speaking of fasting, fasting works, by the way, to people who don't know. I fasted until 2, and to be honest, I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I've been able to stay up until like 12. Like I feel energized, and I haven't eaten that like that. But go ahead, Archer. But still, go ahead.
Yeah. So I basically, when I was doing a little therapy with Kai and stuff, basically, bro, like, I cemented. Like, here's the thing. This is one thing I really want to tell people. You can get all the advice you want in the world, right? You can get all the sound really good wisdom and advice, but here's the thing. There's a difference between wisdom and knowledge, you know? So you can have wisdom, right? But you don't know how to apply that into your life. You don't know how to really enter that into your life, how to really cement it, what that really means. Like, you don't know what that really means, and you don't know how to apply it. You know, I didn't know how to apply the fact that the past is the past, and I have to get over it and stuff, and I have to just renew myself as a person, and like just go through a new cycle. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do that. I had heard your past can't be undone for the longest time, you know, but it was just literally until like yesterday that I finally cemented it in my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between wisdom and knowledge.
Can you explain the difference to us?
Wisdom is basically like I would say like this. Wisdom is a hammer and knowledge is the nail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like wisdom is like a tool that you use, right? It's like you know, like you could speak a lot of wisdom, right? But you could be a complete fucking hypocrite, bro. Like you could speak like a lot of wisdom and stuff, and you just don't apply it at all. Like you could just be someone that doesn't practice what they preach. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you can be very, very wise and stuff, but you have no knowledge. For example, like God in the Bible says, "My people were destroyed for a lack of knowledge." Right? And basically, like, notice how he didn't say that they were fools. They said that there's a difference between a fool and someone who has a lack of knowledge. A fool is someone who lacks wisdom. Someone who lacks knowledge is someone who lacks knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, basically, you can have all the wisdom in the world, right? But if you don't have the knowledge to apply it, like knowing something and being wise to something, because being wise means you're observing. You're observant. You know, wisdom is observance. You know, knowledge is actually like substantial. You know, anyone could see something. Anyone could like observe something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's observing it physically or observing it mentally. You know, but like not everyone can actually have the knowledge to cement and like actually apply their wisdom. You feel me?
Yeah.
Which goes back to again how like I always heard like your past is over and stuff, and you need to just move on and ask God to forgive you. You need to ask the people that you've hurt to forgive you. You know what I'm saying? And like you have to ask like everyone to forgive you and stuff because you want God to forgive you, and that's all you can really do is just repent and ask for forgiveness. And what's crazy is like, um, what am I trying to say here? You don't really know what that really means until you go through it yourself. Until you have like those experiences for yourself.
Yeah,
A
like
lot of people, wisdom comes with experience. I would say wisdom comes with wisdom definitely comes with experience, but knowledge comes with I would say like knowledge definitely comes with like practicality. Action. Knowledge comes with action. You could be like the oldest man on earth with all the wisdom and stuff, right? But you see like a lot of old people and stuff. Not a lot of old people, but you see like some old people and stuff. They live with a lot of regret, you know,
yeah,
because like they have like wisdom, but they didn't know how to apply the wisdom. So like basically like they have all these words to say, but no actions to prove it, and actions speak louder than words. You feel me?
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with
yeah.
that.
I can understand. I can understand that for real, for real.
I think that's why watching body language is really, really important also.
That's how I read that girl's eyes, bro. That's how I read that girl's eyes. I read her body language and stuff, and I'm like, holy. She's
Body
a very
language does
guarded
give
person.
away a lot of that stuff. Let's talk about the importance of body language too. Shit, body language will give you away for real, if you lying
That's
on
what I'm
somebody.
saying.
Have you ever had a situation besides from that one where you caught somebody's body language being different what they were saying, Archie? Hello?
Yeah,
I was finna say, did you hear me?
yeah. What did you say again?
I was finna say, have you ever had have you ever had a situation where another situation besides from that one where somebody's body language told on them versus what they were saying?
Oh, besides the girl at the party?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Um, Usually people hide their body language a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because they know how revealing it is. At least where I come from, people hide their body language a lot. You know what I'm saying? But like all I can really talk about is that girl at the party. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen like her what's it called? Like the way she acted and the way she carried herself and the way she positioned herself and how she crossed her arms and stuff and like how she like put her hands on her hips and stuff. And like one day I was just chilling there, like smacked as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And like I was like staring at her. You know what I'm saying? Because I was feeling her. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling her. You feel me?
You want to say that?
And she caught me red-handed. She's like, "You're kind of staring into my soul right now." I'm like, "Oh, my bad." I'm like, basically like said like your eyes tell like a coherent story to me, right? And she's like, "Really? What story do my eyes tell you?" Right? And I basically said like, you basically your mind has been through a lot of places, and you're just trying to find your place in the middle. Now, I ended up being correct with that. Somehow, I ended up being correct with me reading her eyes and stuff. But I barely read her eyes, bro. What I read was her body language. You feel me?
Mm.
Like, I read how she positioned herself and stuff, and just how she leaned. Everything to how she leaned back. Like, she seemed like a very guarded person. Like, she points at people. She pointed at me and stuff, and like. She's like a very guarded person, and like I just use my insight on what being guarded means. Like if you're a guarded person, you've been through some shit, and like as a person who's been through some shit as well, like I'm just trying to find my peace by the ocean, right? So I just thought naturally like, oh shit, she's probably like me. She's probably trying to find her peace by the ocean, and I was right, bro. A man was right. You know what I'm saying? Like she was very similar to me.
A W, bro.
Yeah, bro, she was definitely like feeling me afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But then you all know what happened after. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast. You all know what happened after.
Yeah, that definitely sucks.
Crazy.
That definitely sucks.
I was gonna say, have you ever been catfished before?
That was definitely a catfish.
I was gonna say, Brian, like, have you, Kai? Have you ever been catfish?
No, not really. Not yet, at least.
Ah,
I haven't been catfished just yet. Thankfully, I guess.
hold on.
Getting catfished is crazy, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, it is. I ain't gonna cap. I remember watching that show, bro. Some of them situations. Somebody actually ended up dating a chick that was really a medium, and she talked about how her dead grandfather, I think it was dead grandfather, dead father, missed their family. That was crazy as fuck to see that on TV.
I would low key date her, bro. I don't know why, but I just find like I don't want to generalize and say witches, but that's probably the best way for me to put it. I find all of that really attractive. I don't know why. I find a lot of weird things attractive though.
My goodness, my goodness.
I find religious women attractive, mainly because like I'm religiously obliged to like marry a religious woman, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that like, you know, like religious women are very guarded and stuff, and like they're very like sweet and they're very reserved and stuff, and they speak very softly and stuff. Like, there's two things. Like, I'm gonna go back to the shorty. Okay, like she kind of called me out. Okay, like she was like, "You fall in love with the eyes." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Who said anything about falling in love, bro?" Like,
That's
fucking
crazy.
funny. That's fucking funny.
Bro wasn't going
She
for
knew I
it.
was-
He was getting enticed. He was getting enticed.
Bro was
She knew I
not
was
going
feeling
for
it,
it. Bro was not going for it at all.
Yeah, man. But what was I saying here? Something about fucking what was I talking about again?
Bro, there's no way you forgot your.
There's no way. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna end the live
My mind
stream.
drew a blank.
I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. But this was a good conversation. I ain't gonna cap. Even though we went rant,
we continue it after the stream.
hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Thank you guys for watching so much for the stream, people. Yeah, this was to kill two birds in one stone. Just to post a podcast episode to let you know we're coming back with more podcasts and deeper explanation. The next episode is gonna be more organized. But
Yeah, I hope so.
but for this one, we were just introducing the new cast between me, Kai, and Ken, and we were just trying to open the conversation up, as well as me record myself writing that story so I can get a time lapse in. Thank y'all so much, so very much, for both the stream earlier on my gaming channel and